Now that the head is complete, you should glue all of its parts together. Remember, when you animate the head, it's going to be moving as one, so you have to be sure everything is glued together fine. Move it up and out of the way for now, because now we're going to create the body. Start with the basic cylinder primitive. Use the smooth quad divide to smooth it out some. Now, we have to use the deform tool on this primitive. You have the option of doing either a local deformation or along planes perpendicular to the X, Y, or Z axes. In this case, we need to deform along a plane perpendicular to the Z axis. Click and drag on the arrow here to increase the number of divisions for your deformation. Now, we're simply going to resize starting at the top. Remember, you never see a South Park character's neck. There's going to be a collar covering the top of the cylinder. So don't worry about making it too small. Just size the rings accordingly. You can switch to the front view for a better view at it. Now if you'll notice, there seems to be jagged edges at the top, while it's still smooth on the bottom. This can be corrected by clicking on the move instead of the resize, and moving them all up slightly. This gives you a slightly more rounded edge at the top. Just play around with it for a while until you got a shape that you think you like. Use the normalized location to bring it to the center. And then if you'd like, you can bring the head down so you can see how it matches up. Here we see the body's a little too small, so we can easily resize it. Just click and drag on the selector box. Now that the main body of the character is complete, we need to add the legs. The legs also begin in cylinders. Simply create a cylinder, right click on it, smooth it out some using the smooth quad divide. Now you can switch to the front view, bring it down to around the position where one of the legs should be, and you'll need to size this accordingly. You have to notice that the legs aren't perfect cylinders, so size it down and position it under the character. You can now switch to one of the side views so you can get a feel for how the leg is currently fitting on the character. It has to be almost as wide as the body, but it still has to fall under its rim. So size it accordingly, and then you can switch back to the front view. Now you have to be sure that both legs can fit under the body, so you have to be sure you don't make it too wide. Also remember, South Park characters have very, very short legs in relation to their body, so make sure the leg is really short. Once you're comfortable with the size of the leg, you can make a copy of it and move it over. Remember to leave it so that the legs touch in the center. You'd want a little bit of overlap in there. Now we see that the two legs are complete, but he still needs shoes. For this, you'll have to separate the bottom face of one of the legs. Click on the Separate Selected Part Object tool. Now, select that face and sweep it down. Be sure to not make the shoe too tall. The shoes on a South Park character are even smaller than the legs. You have to be sure that you get the bottom edge and you increase the size on it. If you make any mistakes, remember you can click undo to go back one step. Use the point scale command. Size them up accordingly. Once you think you have it right, make a copy of it and move it over. Remember, if you toggle navigation by one of the axes, it really helps. That way you eliminate a lot of the error. Position it so that it's at the same spot on the other leg, and then switch to the perspective view. Take a good look at it.